everyone. So some of my non-Kannadiga friends have been pinging me on or WhatsApping me about what content I create in Kannada. So they want to know what I talk about in my Kannada videos. So today I'm trying to create the same content which I had tried a day before. So I'm talking about the same topic but in English. So I usually talk about something inspiring, some lessons I have learned through the journey of my life, or about some inspiring people. So yesterday or day before yesterday, I spoke about a couple of people who I got an opportunity to meet in this journey of life, and I have learned a lot many lessons from them. So to start with, whenever we hear a word, so we do remember certain scenarios or some people related to that word. So whenever I hear a word called blind, so I remember a couple of people who I have met and I have learned a lot from them. So when I moved initially from my native to Pune, I had trouble reading the bus boards. So I had a bit of trouble in traveling through buses. So what I did was I moved to a nearby hostel which is very near to my office. It was like a walkable distance one. So I moved there. When I went to that hostel, it was a working women hostel by the way. So when I went there, the room which was allotted to me was not vacated by that girl. So I was told to adjust for 15 days in a temporary room. So I was more than willing to do that because I wanted to get into that hostel anyway. So I agreed to adjust. When I went to that room, it was two-seater room. So one of the beds was occupied and the vacant one was of course for me. So I did my bed, I arranged certain things and I thought of lying down for a while. So I just turned off the light and kept the door open because anytime my roommate can come in, right? So I just left the door open and I just lied down. So it was late in the evening when I heard someone walking in and I could see a woman come inside the room. She didn't turn on the light, she kept her things, she got freshened up, she took her vessels or the cooking material and stuff and she ran towards the kitchen. So by the way, in hostel it's usually shared kitchen. So the earlier you go, easier for you to cook your food. So she was in a hurry and I thought I was lying down, so she might have thought that I was asleep, so that's why she didn't turn on the light. And after a while she came back, her food was cooked, so she came in. What I felt strange was she started eating her food in the dark. She didn't even bother to turn on the light even while eating the food. And I got her and I went to just freshen up and I wanted to order some food as I was hungry. So by that time she was done with her food. She went back to kitchen and she was coming inside the room and I was just going outside the room and I turned the light and when I saw her, that was a moment of shock. I saw her eyes. I was surprised or shocked, I don't know, but she was a blind. So now why she ate her food in the dark made sense to me, because if the light is on or it's off, it doesn't really make any difference in her life. I don't know what to call it, but her name was Usha. We used to call her Usha Tai. Usha means light, which was unfortunately missing in her life. And Tai means elder sister. It's in Marathi. And she was eldermost in the hostel. And we all used to call her Usha Tai very fondly. She must be in her early 40s, and she was fair and well built. I must say, she was very good looking. Usha Tai used to go to bed really early, so we hardly spoke for a while that evening, and she went to bed. But the next morning, it was early morning rather, it's 4:30 or 5 a.m. in the morning, I could hear some noise. As usual, the light was off. So I just saw her taking her iron box and couple of clothes, and she left the room. She came back after a while. I could see her clothes properly ironed. She took baths, she got dressed, and she left for somewhere. I was not really aware what she does. So I was really curious. So later that evening, when she came back, when she got freshened up and when she cooked and when she was eating her food, at that time I got to talk to her. So I asked her whether she works or how. I was very curious to know about her. So she happily said that yes, she do work, and her office is quite far, so she has to take 2 different buses and she has to go to work, and after the work, same routine, she has to change the bus and she has to come back. And I asked her what about the ironing stuff I saw in the early morning. So she said, always you have to wear ironed clothes because it gives a very good impression and you feel good. A lazy girl like me, who is very lazy for ironing and stuff, hearing something from Usha Tai was like, yes Pallavi, even you have to be, presentable, you have to be in certain way. She was very, very punctual, and you might be wondering how she used to get to know the exact time. So she had this watch, it had this read mode, so whenever you used to press the button, the watch used to read the time. So if you press the button, it would say 8:10 p.m. sort of. So by that watch, she used to be aware about the timing. When we slowly got to know each other, I tried to understand her schedule and stuff. So she, as I said, used to wake up really early, and she used to iron her clothes, she used to get ready, she used to go to work, and she used to come back, she used to get freshen up and cook food without anyone's help. She used to cook food daily. She used to eat her food and go to bed. It's as simple as that. To start with, you might have this first question: what was her work all about? So her work was as a receptionist. So she used to sit in a reception, and she used to get all the calls, and she used to attend the calls basically. And the best part about her job was she was getting paid very well, and she used to get pensions as well after the job. So she was financially secure, and she was very, very proud about that. The first thing she told me was to be financially independent. So literally that was her first sentence to me while we got to know each other, while we were in a deep talk. So she said, see Pallavi, every girl should be financially independent all throughout her life. And I must say, she was so inspiring and so independent. She used to cook without anyone's help. And soon, like a couple of days later, I got cold and I was sneezing, and she got to know that. And she soon went inside the kitchen and she made a soup, and she came back and she insisted me to have that soup. I was so touched and a little ashamed because I was really lazy and I used to not cook. But looking at Usha Tai cooking, I literally felt like, Pallavi, you should cook too. So about cooking food, I got to know that Usha Tai was living in that hostel for around 12 to 13 years. She was very used to everything inside the hostel. So she was very used to each and everything. And slowly, when we got to know each other, I asked her whether she was blind by birth or so. She was very calm while answering that. She said she was all right, she was normal till 10th standard. And while she was in 10th standard, she had some issue with her right eye. And she went to a doctor, and while operating the right eye, the doctor made a small, I don't know, I can't even say a small blunder, it's a blunder. And because of that, she lost the sight of the right eye, and unfortunately within a couple of days she lost sight of the left eye as well. So till the 10th standard, a normal, happy, beautiful girl, she lost her sight because of a blunder made by our doctor. Normally, we at least curse that doctor till death because of what he had done. But she was so calm, she had accepted her reality so well that she used to just say, yeah, it's done. It happened, but life didn't stop. So, yeah, she lost her sight, but she never lost her hope uh, with life. The best part, I used to enjoy being with Usha Tai was self-care time. So she used to apply face mask to herself, and with her, masking and talking about life and stuff was something I really enjoyed. We used to have masking time. So she was really into self-care, and the way she took care of herself, the way she used to dress up was something really, really inspiring. There were few girls who used to help Usha Tai to get all the groceries she need. Um, what happened was, after a while, those girls got married and they left the hostel. So Usha Tai was left with no actual help for getting the grocery. So she asked me once whether I could, accompany her to get the groceries. So I more than happily agreed, and I took her out to get groceries. So it was my first ever experience, to go a walk with a blind person. So I didn't had my own vehicle at that time. So we went walking, and as soon as we stepped out of the hostel, she told me that, see, a camel is coming. So I was a bit surprised. I even doubted whether she is able to see partially or something, because my whole concentration was on her, of course. So I couldn't see, I didn't even notice a camel coming. And I asked her, how did you make out that? How did you know that a camel is coming? So she said the camel is wearing, the anklet, and because of that anklet noise, she could make out that the camel is coming. So then we went to a nearby grocery shop, and we have to tell the blind person a few minutes before that there is a hump or there is some bit like that sort. Wherever the road is uneven, we need to make sure that we are letting the person know a bit earlier so they are prepared. So I was very, very cautious. I used to tell each and every uneven surface before time, and my whole concentration was just on the road. But somehow, while I was looking at the grocery shop, I somehow missed one hump. It was a very, very small hump, but she was about to fall, and luckily I was able to hold her and I just stopped her from falling. So that 1 hour which I spent with her outside the hostel was so like, I can't say scary, but it was a lot of responsibility, and at the same time I got to know how blessed we are. During the festival time, we all used to go home, but Usha Tai used to stay at hostel itself. She used to never go outside the hostel. She used to say hostel is her home. So I asked her about her family. So her parents were no more. She had own sister. She used to live in Pune itself, but I never saw her coming or visiting Usha Tai or vice versa. So before I could ask, she told me, Usha Tai told me that her sister, she said, my sister is married, she has kids, and she is very happy in her own life, and she is busy as well. And I'm also happy in my own life, so it doesn't matter. Normally we people, when we see our roommates or our friends going home, and if we don't get to go home, we do feel lonely, we do feel, left out, or we do feel sad. But the best part about her was she had accepted everything. So maybe that was the reason she used to be very calm about anything and everything. So being with her was a great opportunity for me, because I have learned a lot of lessons from her. To name a few, first and foremost, she taught me to be independent financially, and she taught me to explore my own potential and to be independent and try as much as possible not to depend on anybody, expect less from people, and accept yourself, and more importantly, love yourself. So even today, whenever I feel low or I feel lazy, I just think about Usha Tai and I just bounce back to life. She was so much full of positivity, and she was so inspiring. So it was really like, I feel blessed to have gotten some time to be with her and to learn so many things from her. The next person I met, I don't know his name, but I was very inspired by Usha Tai. So I had moved to some other office, and it was a bit far, and I used to change a couple of buses and to reach there. So while I just got down from the first bus, I was waiting for the second one. It was a very busy bus stop, by the way. So it's a bus stop, and there was this road, or I can say a space where bus used to come and they used to go, and then a footpath, and then main road. So when I got down the first bus, I must say, because of this rat race, or I don't know, people, they don't really want to go to office. At least most of them don't want to, but they want to reach office early. And we are so busy with our own, thoughts and own journey, that we hardly get time to just stop and observe the surrounding. So in that crowd, there was this blind person. He wanted to cross the road, but because the buses are constantly coming and going, he couldn't cross the road, and there was no one to even offer help for him. So I went to him and I asked him whether he needs any help. Should I help him to cross the road? So he happily said yes, please. So I held his hand, and with instructions, and because I had prior experience, so I gave him some instructions, and I slowly took him, and I left him on the footpath. I was not aware where he exactly wanted to go. So he asked, so are we on the other side of the main road? I was really touched, and I felt really bad for him, because if you don't have eyes, so you don't know where exactly you are. So I asked him where he wants to go. So he said he wants to go to other side of the main road, not on the footpath side. So okay, I held his hand again and I slowly crossed the road and I left him on the other side of the main road. So I said that you are at, he wanted to go to a mall nearby. So I told him. So he said, thank you so much. I can go from here. So I said, okay. So he said, thank you, ma'am. I must say, in day-to-day basis, we all say thank you a lot many times to a lot many people, but only few thank yous are, right from the heart and it touches the heart. So that thank you touched my heart because he was really grateful for what I had done for him. So these two were the people who taught me so much. The second person definitely taught me to be grateful, and I must say, at least I personally feel, I know any of the organ it's not working, it is a serious issue, but more than anything, like deaf, dumb, or any sort of that issue, but I feel being blind is the hardest because try yourself, like you close your eyes and try to walk in your own room for a couple of minutes, so you'll understand how difficult that is. Couple of weeks ago, while browsing through Facebook, I got this ad called Thank You Foods. So let me tell you, this is not a sponsored one, so I'm not going to get any money from this. I'm not really advertising. Only thing I'm gonna get is happiness. So Thank You Foods. So the founder of that, the factory is a blind person, and the workers over there are all blind. So Thank You Foods, they make very good snacks. I have read all the reviews, and they also make sweets, the Mysore Pak, the almond cake, and chocolate. These three are something I have tried personally, and also the fudge. I haven't tried snacks as in the chivda sort of things. I'm not into that, so I'm a sweet tooth person, so I had ordered sweets without even thinking twice, and to my surprise, it was really good. Mysore Pak was a bit heavy, but it was properly made of ghee and it was very nice, and the handmade chocolates, yummy chocolates. So I'm gonna leave that link in the description box. Do check it out, and they are genuine because I have tried myself, and the quality of the food was really good, and the taste 5 on 5. So I have huge respect for blind people because of the way they lead their life, for the belief they have towards life and towards people around them, the positivity they carry around, and everything nice. So while they want to earn by selling their good quality food, why can't we support them, right? So that is the main reason I am trying to tell you guys about their website. Do check it out, and do support them because it's all festival season. I'm pretty sure most of you are going to buy food or the sweets from the shops. So this time, do give Thank You Foods a chance, and do check their website, and do check their reviews, and do read about them in the about section. They are very inspiring. I'm really inspired. So I hope you find this video inspiring, and whenever you feel low or sad, do think about Usha Tai and just bounce back. And do like, share and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and do let me know if you like this content, or do you want me to continue doing this Kannada and English version of the same content. Do let me know. I'll see you in my next video. Bye.